Hello everybody, Nick McDonald here from Trade with Precision. Thanks for joining us for ICE commentary this week on the Russell 2000. When we look here at the daily chart, we'll see that back here was where we were literally 1 week ago. So if we just look at the exact close on that day, the close was 709.60 and the exact close on this occasion was 710.90. So literally we closed within hardly even a point of where we were last week. So really the market has hardly moved at all. So we could say that my view is exactly the same as last week, and it pretty much is, but there's just a few things that have happened that make me even slightly more bullish. So last week I was bullish, the market went sideways. We always know that there's likely to be pullbacks, and if anything we just had this little bit of a pullback into the averages, very, very small one, but very, very bullish. And even just one small thing here on this chart is this nice, really bullish candle on Thursday, then a breakup through it on Friday. That's a good indication. We are forming now a bit of resistance here at 720, so wasn't too concerned about that before, but now that we've come up and we've tested it back here, we've tested it here, we've now tested it again. Now it's becoming a bit of resistance, that's for sure, and I'm still not worried about that. I still think we'll get up here to towards this kind of 765, 770 level quite comfortably, but for now there is a little bit of resistance in the way. I'm going to come back and talk about why that's likely to be broken, but for now let's just come and have a look at what has changed, because the daily chart, apart from that one bullish candle and a breakup through it and a bit of resistance forming, nothing much has really changed there. We're coming to look at the weekly chart, and again you can see that we were here last week and now we've just pretty much closed the candle at the same level as we closed last week. However, one thing is different, and that is we tried to go down, so we had we sold off at one point and that candle was looking quite red, and then we came right back up. So really, really bullish rejection candle for the week. Tried to push lower, pushed right back up, closed back at the highs. It's set up for a push on now. We can see here quite clearly as well that there's 720 offers very little resistance. We haven't got anything in the way up here until around 770, and that is where I'm expecting for us to get to. So weekly chart looking very, very bullish. Monthly chart hasn't changed at all because it's exactly where it was last week. So nothing has changed. The only thing here that has changed, I guess, is that we're now a week further on, so it's looking more and more likely the monthly candle will close like that. So obviously the longer we have left of that candle, the more likelihood is that it could change the way it looks and even become bearish. But right now it's bullish. We've got a week left of trading, and we've put in this higher low. If we can close even at the same level or higher, this candle will be looking very, very bullish, and the monthly chart will be reconfirming it's still in an uptrend. Even after this big sell-off, it will still be in an uptrend because we're still making higher lows here, and it will be looking like pushing back on, maybe even up to new highs, 850 and beyond. So everything looking strong there. Why do I think the markets will still rally? Why do I think 720 won't offer a lot of resistance? Well, just remember this pattern here on the daily chart. Remember these highs. Let's come and have a look at the Dow and have a look at how the Dow is doing at its recent highs. And let's just draw a line in here just to be very, very clear. Even through the actual high itself, the Dow is smashed up through it. So the Dow smashed up through any resistance and closed the week higher. Very, very bullish. Closed it on Friday. Let's have a look at the S&P. All of them look very similar on weeklies and monthlies, but the key thing here is just noting here as well, looking at where was resistance. It was here, breaking up through, nice bullish close above, everything looking strong here across daily, weekly, and monthly on the S&P. Lastly, though, the Nasdaq is slightly different, and this is where it's a little bit closer linked to the Russell. This hadn't, but it didn't have the same kind of highs to break up through. So we'd already broken up through them a couple of weeks ago, or already broken up through them last week. Just had a bit of a pullback on the Nasdaq this week, but we still had that bullish candle like we did on the Russell, broken up through the high, everything looking good, and I still think the Nasdaq is looking good to come up and test these highs, 2400. In fact, up around there could provide some intraday shorting opportunities if you do trade the Nasdaq. So I'll be looking at that, but I think we'll get beyond it. So on an intraday basis, I love this kind of level, 2400 up to kind of 2420. I think could provide some good short trades, very short-term intraday trades, but I think we're likely to get up through that with relative ease. The Nasdaq is the market leader. It's pulling the other markets higher. The Dow and the S&P have started to move this week, and in fact, we could very easily now argue it's been a little bit debatable which are the leaders and which are the laggers, although the Nasdaq has always been the leader since we moved back into bull market. But now it's quite easy to say, certainly for this week, that the Russell is the one that's lagging. Now I love to trade the ones that are lagging, to let something else lead the market, to let the Nasdaq, the Russell, to let the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P lead the market onwards, and then to trade the lagger is something I've done for many, many, many years in my trading, and it just so happens that the Russell is lagging this week, and I think that's exactly why I think we'll get up through these highs relatively comfortably, because the other markets already have. They're likely to push on too. They're looking bullish. This is likely to push on up, and we're likely to come up and test 770. I think in the longer term, we're likely to be breaking up above that as well. So for now, though, things are looking bullish here. Obviously, we're still in a very news-driven market. I say that every single week, but it's plain and simple right now. If Europe gets a lot worse, stocks go down, dollar goes up. If the situation gets better over there, if there's some kind of resolution, then stocks go up and dollar goes down. That's plain and simple. Right now, I'm trading what I'm seeing on the charts, what I believe will happen based on the probabilities of the technicals. I can't predict what will happen in the news. And right now, I think stocks up and US dollar down. Happy trading all. Have a wonderful week. Speak to you soon.